So I had a call last month with a founder who told me with real pride that his customer success team was incredible. Every fire handled, every escalation resolved within an hour. He wasn't wrong to be proud of them, quite the contrary. But then I asked him a different question. Which of your customers is shrinking right now? And would your team know before the renewal date told them? He went quiet. And then he said, honestly, probably not. That conversation is this whole video. The team he described, brilliant under pressure, always there the moment something breaks, is usually a team that a founder points to when I ask what their customer success function was built for. It's the wrong thing to build for because a team that's brilliant at firefighting only gets to be brilliant because something has already gone wrong. I've talked before about the four modes that I see inside every customer success team I've worked with. Over 20 years working across industries from banking to retail to pharma. And those four modes are the troubleshooter, the operator, the strategic thinker, and the orchestrator. If you haven't watched that video yet, I'll link it below because it's worth watching first. This one answers a different question, which is which of the four is actually great customer success? And why are so few teams ever getting there? The troubleshooter is what most founders picture when they think of great customer success. Calm under pressure, technically sharp, and the kind of person who always picks up when something goes wrong. That skill matters a lot, and I'm certainly not dismissing it. But notice what has to exist for it to be used. A problem that's already live and already costing you something. And the troubleshooter plays defense very well, but it's still defense. The operator is one step further along. So they are excellent at managing processes and following them and being consistent. They keep onboarding on track. The renewal calendar's accurate, as is the CRM. They catch the predictable failures before they land. And those skills are genuinely valuable, but they're still reactive in a certain sense. Because managing a known process is different to reading a moving situation. So the strategic thinker is where this changes. This is a person who reads a customer's business closely enough to notice when the seat count is potentially at risk of shrinking, when a key stakeholder has gone silent, or a budget conversation is happening two levels up and no one's flagged it. 2 weeks ago, I talked about the retention leak that never shows up as churn. And it's the one where 100% of your logos renew, but you're still losing revenue. That leak is invisible to a troubleshooter and even to an operator. Catching it is exactly what a strategic thinker is built for. Then the orchestrator goes one step further still. By taking what the strategic thinker sees and pulling the right people into the room, whether that's sales, product, your leadership team, before the moment becomes a crisis. And that's the difference between managing a customer relationship alone and aligning everyone who touches the customer towards the same outcome. So, what does that actually look like? Well, a strategic thinker notices a customer's usage has flattened 2 months before a renewal. So, picture what this actually looks like. A strategic thinker notices a customer's usage has flattened 2 months before the renewal. They will cross-reference that against a LinkedIn post announcing a new VP of operations. An orchestrator turns that into a conversation with the customer's executive sponsor. They bring in the product manager to walk through a feature that maps straight to the new VP's mandate and turn a flat renewal into an expansion. And nobody here had to fight a fire because there wasn't one. I believe great customer success lives in those strategic thinker and orchestrator roles, not just troubleshooters. The rest of this video is about why almost no customer success team gets built to operate there. And it isn't because the people aren't capable of it. Over the last 20 years in my career, working with hundreds of large, complex corporate accounts in both a corporate and startup environment, I've seen similar patterns happen. It might be different logos, but it's the same mechanism. Typically, job descriptions are written around ticket volumes and response times. And the hiring criteria screen for people who stay calm under fire, because that's the one skill a founder can actually see in a 30-minute interview. Now, I'll be honest, when I hired for my own teams, I did something similar earlier in my career because it's the safest trait to hire for when you're a founder and you're still doing some of that firefighting yourself. The problem is that recognition goes to whoever saved the biggest customer last quarter, to the visible heroics, but not to the person who proactively spotted a risk 2 months early and made sure no one even heard about it. So career paths only go in one direction, which is up to management, but never sideways or deeper into commercial seniority. Then you end up with a team full of excellent troubleshooters, praised for exactly the behavior that proves that something already broke. And nobody has built the incentive for that mode that would actually have caught it out in the first place. This is why capability sits last in the sequence I run with founders, after align and redesign. And that's because you cannot train a team in strategic thinking if a customer journey underneath them is still leaking. If the handover from sales to onboarding drops information on the floor, nobody has agreed what the joint KPIs even are yet. So capability only pays off once the system it sits inside is worth investing in. In practice, that means three things. Financial fluency, so a strategic thinker can actually read a customer's business in a way that the role demands. Real visibility into what sales promised and what product is planning, so that customer success isn't the last function to find out. And the authority to pull other teams into the room the moment that they see something, instead of just absorbing it themselves because that's what a troubleshooter has always done. I run a test with founders directly. Think about the last time someone in your team was praised for saving a customer relationship. Now, ask which mode does that praise actually reward? If the answer is the troubleshooter, it's not a mark against the person, but it is a signal that your system is not built to reward the right behaviors. And if that sounds like your team right now, that's usually the first thing that we're going to analyze in a customer-led growth clarity call. This is a free 45-minute call where you walk away with your number one growth gap and a 30-day plan. You can fix that on your own or with help. I'll share the link below. Now, let me leave you with a parting thought. What would you say your team is actually built for right now? Catching fires or catching them before they start?